Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of 1874 at Home. Thank you all for joining once again. Thank you for your kind comments from last week's interview with Ian Street. I think we all took something from that, with Ian talking very open and honestly about his time at the club and also the passion and love that he still does have for the club. Now today, as you can see, we're joined by Callum Gardner. It looks like he's coming from like Costa del New Mills. Callum, how are you doing?
I'm not too bad, thank you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Let's talk about the shirt there. I saw you when you turned on the Zoom that you were in something like that, so I thought I'd find mine from Real Away and join you with it. Let's have a talk about that. So where and why did you buy it?
What do you mean, why did I buy it?
Look at it.
Spicy, this is. No, to be honest, I was going away and I just needed quite a few shirts, different type of shirts, and complements my skin, I think, and now my new hair colour. Yeah, it's all right. But funnily enough, this is the shirt that I wore for our team night out after the final.
That's the Macron Cup.
Yeah, I know we're set up the winner, but we won't get into that one. But yeah, this is the shirt, the famous shirt. So I thought I'd treat you to it again.
Now let's talk about your hair, because your hair is currently bouncing off the lights that are above you.
Sorry about that.
No, that's absolutely fine. But what made the change in style?
This is just lockdown for you. Well, for me anyway. I've just been bored. I'm not going to go back to work until maybe August, September. And my missus has been moaning too much, saying, "Oh, you're on the PlayStation too much. Oh, I want you to spend some time with me." So I thought, if you want to dye my hair, there's an hour and a half you can have with me. About that one. But it's just a change. Thought I'd treat the lads to it today. Everyone was laughing and took kindly to it. So win-win.
I was down at training earlier today, and Phil Lee came up to me straight away and said, "Can you ask him why he's copying me?"
I had to tell Phil, I just want to look as him. I've spent a lot of time with Phil, obviously due to making little niggles and stuff, but I just thought I'd compliment him on his, showing that going grey or silver, foxes as he likes to call it. I'm with him. Me and him are best pals. Every time after training or before games, he always comes over and he goes, touch me down. So we've got a good relationship with Phil.
I think everyone does. I think Phil's one of those people at the club that he is a club legend. I think, like Vicky, he's someone that gets the club through and through, isn't he?
Yeah, even like you see him after goals, after games, he's his first up, he's screaming. And I don't know if you might have known, but every time the drum at home games and the 74 chant, without fail, he will shout 74 no matter how many times they'll be on the bench and like that. 74. He is a class act, and he, like I said, he doesn't even need to be. I think he is in the vulnerable category. He doesn't even have to be at training now. You can wait until if the season starts, and he doesn't want to. He wants to be involved. He comes with his gloves on and a mask and social distance, but he wants to be involved. He is quality, Phil.
Absolutely. Now we spoke about training. How's it doing at the moment? What are the differences that you're noticing? Obviously, after social distance, how much are you getting out of it, and how difficult are the sessions as well?
It's good. It's not as hard as the first week, and I don't want to jinx it now. So the gaffers see it and runners next week. But yeah, it is hard. Obviously, people are coming back at different fitness levels and stuff, and I'm probably not the greatest at the minute. But it's good. Not hard as it should be, as it could be, should I say? But it's just weird. Obviously, you can't have the contact when we're doing possession based in boxes. But it is weird, and hopefully we can get past it soon.
So how do you as players adapt to that then, obviously? Because you can't put tackles and you can't have any contact training, as you alluded to. Now, next week you'll be able to go to a shorter distance because you've got the 1 metre plus rule that will come into play. How do you adapt as players, and how do you get what you want to out of these sessions? Because obviously they're like nothing we've experienced before.
Well, even when we did training last season, we because we didn't really have an opposition to make it realistic, we had to just adapt to it that way anyway. So we're kind of used to it. It was a bit false because no one's really going in and flying into tackles, so it's kind of the same now. So it is hard when we're doing it in boxes, but we're like I said, we're a possession-based team, so it's very rare tackles are flying in. You might get the odd time people go shoulder to shoulder, but we keep the ball, we work the ball, we get wide. So it's not as hard as most people think it is, but it's just the way that you can't challenge 50-50 for this ball or get up for headers with people and throw your arms about. But it's all right. It's not ideal, but like I said, we don't know when the season's starting and when, like I said, if 1 metre comes in next week, might have a little bit of normality back, but just have to see how it goes.
Now, many players have been keeping up with their fitness. You'll see it over social media. Lee Jackson's one of them. You'll see him on Instagram nearly every night doing bits of running. How have you been keeping up with fitness over lockdown?
Well, before we go into that, I'm going to stitch him up because we had 3 laps of the 400 today. So regardless of all these Instagram things you see at 9 o'clock at the track, I think he just goes with a bottle of red wine and just drinks, just to take a picture. He bottled it out of the last one. He said he was injured.
Now, I will vouch for him there because it did look like he pulled a muscle in his back.
I just wanted to give him some stick. But yeah, it's hard. People like Corral are coming back. Ryan Jackson, who's not done anything for enough, maybe 12 months or so, and they are just flying. I'm not at the back, but I'm not far behind. It is hard. People are coming back in different stages, and I think there's no rush for it. So Owen Goody are easing us in, but still putting us for our paces with obviously the running, because like we don't want to peak too early. But we had like the FA Vars run, and then it was like straight back into pre-season. So I don't think they want to do that again. Where we've had the season, we come back now to do a pre-season, and everyone's just going to either burn out or peak too early. So we'll just ease ourselves in. We're still having a lot of balls out. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I think it's better to be around the lads and just filter it in now and again. Well, that's probably just mainly what I want.
Yeah, no, you mentioned being back with the lads, but how good is it mentally being back around everyone at the club again? You know, obviously, the fans aren't there, but you're around each other as players. How good is that mentally for you?
Oh, massive. For me personally, it's massive. Like, I've gone from doing 40 hours a week at work, and then I play football at work on a Monday. I train Tuesday, Thursday, then have a game Saturday. So I'm with the lads like 3 times a week. I'm being active near enough every day, and it's gone from that to nothing in the space of for 3 months now. So getting around that and lads, and the banner's still flying around. No one's forgotten how to throw a dig at each other. But it's a massive help just being sat inside. Now we're getting. Oh, I'm looking forward to Saturday. I can't wait to see the lads. I'll get the ball out. It's a massive help.
What's the mood around the camp then with the players? Is it a sense of wanting to finish what we started last season? Obviously, the null and void disappointed everybody, but for you as players, is it a sense of managing to complete what we started last season?
Yeah, definitely, and achieve more. Like going on a further run in the FA Vars, and obviously we was in the semi-final of the cup as well. Obviously, we feel robbed, and we're still hurting, but we can't change that. And nothing, no matter if we said we have a whinge and a moan. Obviously, we want to try and finish off the job, but still achieve more, because there was games where, like the Barnolds game 84, we should have won that 10-0. There's loads of games where we could have done better, and we know we should have done better. But I think it's continue where we pick up where we left off, and carry on. Obviously, everyone's a bit upset, gutted that Mike's leaving as well. So that's a bit of the camp, but everyone's buzzing for him, wants him to achieve more. But apart from that, yeah, we're all wanting to go on and definitely win the league at least.
Yeah, how much is a testament? We'll speak up Mike Corral, obviously moving on to Nantwich Town. How much of a testament is that to all the hard work that all the players have been put in? It's a recognition of how well that Mike's done this season for the club, because he moved to a position that he'd never played at before, and he was one of the best performing players in the league that season. I mean, he was fantastic in getting a move. It shows the recognition that the work that all you as players have put in, and Bowen Goody as well, to see someone progressing for 2 levels above.
Yeah, massive. And I think the first time he was asked to play was Charnock Richard, the right back, which it was half time. He said, "Look, Mike, you need to just do a job for me," and he done exceptionally well. And he obviously he's a bright lad, very fit, strong. I think he could play any position. I think he could give a tear run for his money. But it is a testament to everyone. He bought into Bowen Goody's philosophy, you could call it, and he's just excelled massively. Obviously, that's proven that he was at Crewe for how many years. He is a top quality player.
Now, I mentioned buying into Bowen Goody's philosophy there. What was it that made you buy into the philosophy when you joined the club?
I used to hate playing against us. Well, playing against 74 for Winsford. I used to always want to play out, and with me being for Winsford a wide man, I'd always have to go up and press, and it used to be horrible. We didn't used to see the ball, and obviously no disrespect to Winsford, but every time we played against them, it was more the case of, right, they're going to do this, they'll do that. Whereas in our dressing rooms, we're not really focused on the team. We're focused on how good we are and what we can do and how we can beat the team. And I just loved it. And having a chat with Goody through the season, he told me he wanted to reiterate that, look, you like to come and get on the ball. We play football. You will see the ball. We're not going to have you come in and out. Sorry. We're not just going to have you filling in and out of games and stuff, long ball, go and try and win that header and stuff. It was a philosophy that they said that they wanted to play, and most important, they said that they wanted to win. He told me that he wanted to win the league, and it's shown that how far we've come in the last 2 seasons alone.
How important is winning for you in football? Because as a person, you're extremely competitive. You want to do your best. You want to thrive, and you want to have the ball at your feet as well. How important is that for you as a footballer?
Massive. I know it's people say, "Oh, it's taking part in camps." I'm not a believer of that, really. I want to win, whether it'll be training games. I don't want to get to finals. I want to have them days out where we can score an 18th, 9th minute winner and celebrate after. I love to win, whether it be anything. It could be a PlayStation game. That's just the competitive in me, but it's how it should be. And I think a lot of all the lads are like that as well. They want to win. There's no point training on Tuesday, Thursday, even Barnoldick away on a Tuesday night, just to come into, just have a kick about the lads. No, we want to win and we want to achieve stuff, and that's what we all believe in.
Yeah, I think that's part of Bowden Goody's ethos, isn't it? That you play to win these sorts of games. And you mentioned you want to have those moments where you score an 89th minute winner. But in your case at Scan away, it was more like a 97th minute winner, wasn't it? How good was that feeling?
Oh, amazing. All game we were just getting berated left, right and centre from the fans. And there was like 7-year-olds just flocked inside next to the riffraff. And I was getting grilled. Everyone was getting grilled. Coming in at half-time, players were chirping up, saying, 2-0 up, we're supposed to be top of the league and all this. And I can't stand it. I get it, like, all right, that's part of football. You're winning, just take it on the chin. But it's a prime example. Don't count your chickens, because you never know what's going to pop up. If I'm popping up in the 97th minute, you're in trouble.
But that game is a key example of many. Longridge was another one, coming from behind to draw against Northwich Victoria and to draw Witton Albion as well earlier in the season. In that Skem game, you're in the dying moments of the game. How do you manage to stay composed in those situations? So you could go and stop playing and just play long balls forward. And obviously it was a long ball that Lee Jackson played to you out wide, but actually it was the right ball to play in that situation. How do you stay so composed so you can take such a calm touch to then finish it?
Just instinct that. I always like to obviously try and isolate the fullback one-on-one, and as it come over him, it left me with a centre-back, and as he come diving in, I always knew that if I feint to shoot here, with it being the last couple of minutes, he's always going to dive in, which allowed me to then just go past him and one-on-one with a keeper. But the main thing with that is, as I mentioned in the column that we did, we all trust each other. So no matter whether it was 70th minute, 80th minute, 90th minute, we always trust each other to, as well as Bowden Goody's philosophy, that we just keep doing what we're doing because we know we're going to get chances. I think we had about 16, 17, 18 chances in that game that we probably, on another day, we would have scored. So it's just about the trust that we have with each other, where Jacko trusts himself to hit that diag, and he trusts me to then take the ball down and hopefully score. But it's all across the pitch. Harry Kane trusts Mike Corral behind him. Go and give him the ball. Harry Kane had one of his best games I've seen him play for us. But all across the midfield as well. Back four, T. It's the trust that we have and trusting Bowden Goody's philosophy, where we just keep doing what we're doing. It'll come. We don't need to go long balls, and if we go 1-0 up, take it to the corner flag. I don't think there's ever been a game where we've been up and we've just kept the ball in the corner flag, and I can't remember one. And that's just how we are as a club, as a team.
How important is that element of trust in the side? You mentioned it there, but it's the fact that we have a squad, which I think quite rare for the level, which has been building up over a few years now. Since the Vars year, really. We've got players like Jonah, Scott, Woolley, Sam Hare. These players have all been there. And year by year, maybe only 1 or 2, maybe 3 who've come in and joined it. How important is it? It's such a settled squad, so you all know each other's strengths. You mentioned there before that you focus on what you do rather than the other teams. How important is that?
massive, and it was a prime example when I first came in. Not too many people knew about me or what the type of game I played. Whereas if I was on maybe on a right wing, they weren't really sure, or they might have played it inside and gone safe, or vice versa. Sure, as if it's the 89th minute, do you try that risky pass and let me have a one-on-one with somebody to try and do something to try and get a point or the 3 points? Do you trust me enough? And everyone now, we all have the relationship where I have a great relationship with our left back, whether it be me or Scotty maybe, or me, even me and T. We all have a good relationship now with each other where we trust each other too. There you go. The amount of times that you just see the likes of Woolley, he'll just break stuff up and then just pass it and say, look, I've done my job, now you go to yours, and I'll stand there. And it's all over, it's all throughout the team. Even when we have Ormerod come in, Nathan or Coleman come in, they do a job and we trust them that they are going to do that job, and we still get the result we want. But it's just like what we have throughout the whole team.
Now let's go back a little bit to talk about your career in football so far. And you mentioned to me earlier that you played for Ardwick FC in Manchester before joining FC United under-18s, went to Woodley Sports, Prescott Cables, 2 spells at Windsor before joining 74. Talk us through your time in football.
I started at a young age, really, playing open age football. It was tough because I always wanted to be that tricky player and try and beat someone with their next minute. When I'm playing it with in a league where it was just referee and no linesman, I'm just getting smashed left, right and centre. So I had to man up a bit and then actually start playing football rather than just keep trying step overs and flip-flops and trying to make people. Because if I'm trying to take the mick out of people, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get that one in team that just says, just hit it, and they end up coming out with a broken arm, broken ankle or sprained foot. And it happened many times. So playing at a young age made me realise that it's not all about beating somebody and doing it, but try and do it now and again. Then moved on to FC. That was good. With Sam Freaks and his dad. Woodley Sports was tough for me though. That was, I think they were in the First Division North, and that was like a proper man's game for me. I couldn't really hold my own, to be honest. But then obviously when I dropped down a few leagues to Winsford, I enjoyed it, and it was a great club. Enjoyed my time there. I think for the first season, I think we won the cup and then came 4th. Should have won that year. But obviously the best time is when I joined 74. It's a proper family, whether it be like the hard work that you do behind the scenes, Vicky does, even after the games, coming out with curries and poppadoms and dips, and it's throughout. There's so much work that gets done, and everyone cares for each other. The amount of volunteers we've got. We've seen a list of the 4 volunteers on a match day, and it was huge. And people don't see that side of things. I was at a club not so long ago. I won't mention any names, but when we was training, it was like, well, it's in Manchester, so I'm not going. We only had half of the team there, and I'm like, you're in a league where you're trying to say you want to go and win, but you've got half the team who aren't turning up. There was a young lad who was just having a kick about where we trained, and he was like, "Oh, can I join in?" And he was just allowed to join in as normal. I'm like, you're saying you want to win and you want to do stuff, but you're not going to do that. You need to have a proper team, people who buy into what you want to achieve. And with 74, it's what we've got, and it's proven over the last 2 years.
So obviously, you joined 74 2 years ago now. What does the club mean to you?
Oh, so much. It's helped me achieve, adapt and develop so much, especially with Bowen Goody. And it's not been easy for me. I've been in and out for maybe the last 2 seasons, but I've held my own. I've done my job when I needed to. But everything it's just awesome. Even the stuff with the kits that would come in, and every time somebody's ill, everyone's coming around with a card. And all the lads are signing a card for people. It's great. I love it. Yeah.
Then you mentioned before as well that the professionalism and the side of the club, whether it's with the volunteers or whether it's the structure that Bowen Goody put out, Huddle is something that they use massively to show and break down different teams with bits of analysis. How important is that to you as a player to see like the dedication and intricacy that goes in behind the scenes from Bowen Goody?
Yeah, it's massive, and I don't think that Bowen Goody have actually got the full got 100% out of it yet. I think they're finding out more stuff and more analysis of it. But even before a game, we've got a match report on the team that from their last game and then how they play. Like we come in, we've got a full of each player, how they play, maybe penalty takers, and it helps massively because if I get the ball 89th minute and I know that this fullback likes to dive in, I'm going to take him on. Whereas I might think, oh, he's pretty good going forward. Maybe I need to play it safe and just be wary that he might counter-attack on us. It's massive. The videos that Goody send out, they're not just 9 times out of 10. They're just if we score, we watch them. But Goody and Bo have detailed where it's obviously markings, commentary on it, and explaining it in detail, and it's helped us massively.
Now, I think it'd be fair to say when you're within your first season, you were guilty of almost trying too hard. I mean, there were flashes of absolute brilliance from him. I mean, the 2 goals against Congleton really do spring to mind during that season, but it didn't necessarily quite click. I think it'd be fair to say. What was going through your mind during that your first season for the club?
Well, I got told from obviously different people that, oh, you won't get along. Bo won't like you. Bo won't like you because he likes someone who puts tackles in and they go up for headers. And that's not my game. So they obviously tried saying, you're not going to get along. He won't have you. But then in my mind, I'm thinking, well, maybe I need to start trying to win headers and go in for 50-50s, 60-40s. But that's not my game. And I was trying to do that. I was trying to work hard at maybe covering too much if Mike Corral or Connors at the time was bombing forward. And I was more worried about the defensive side of things. And then when I did get the ball, I was worried, oh, I need to do something now. I need to do a step over and beat my man and then get an assist or score. I have to do it every time. Otherwise, I'm not going to play next week. But that wasn't the case. Whereas when they pulled me in, they were like, you don't need to do that. We've not signed you because you can run half a marathon. We signed you because we know you can play football and you can do a job. You don't need to impress us. You don't need to impress anyone. Just go out and do your own game. But I think it's more settled in for me this year when I understood how they wanted to play and that I didn't need to do that. And I've had license to go and do my thing where coming off the left-hand side and have that shot where try and hit that top corner, which I know I can do, and get the assist and them just letting the shackles off and saying, listen, if you don't have a good game, we're not going to bring you out. We want to give you a good 2-3 run of games, which they've both been awesome. I've obviously given them a lot of stick for not giving me enough game time, but it's just my desire of obviously wanting to play and wanting to win. But it's been great.
But I think that shows, especially for us as fans hearing that you've got such a big desire to play for the club and that you are hungry to get some starts. Going from forward into next season then, how much do you want to improve your game then? Because obviously we'll have so much more competition. Is it the drive from other players around? You've got people like Ryan Jackson coming back, Joe Willoughby coming back. There's more competition than there ever has been. How much are you looking forward to challenging for that?
Yeah, I love it. We all do, whether or not we moan it. But the thing is, not one of us go, "Oh, he had a bad game today. I should be starting." That's not the case on the bench when someone's there. It's always encouragement because we all want to win as a team. It's not stabbing him in the back and saying he was poor today. He should come off, or I'm going to go and warm up now. So hopefully, go Goody see me and put me on. That's not the case. We all want to be the best player we can be and make the team win and do what we can. Whether they not have a bad game, maybe the first half or first 60 minutes, there's 2 or 3 of us ready, knowing that we're going to put 100% in to try and get the 3 points. We don't want to draw, we don't want to lose. We always want to win, and we all egg each other on, put the support in, regardless of if I wasn't in the squad for the Longridge game. I was still there. I was still running down the line with Phil Lee. I wasn't sulking. I wasn't saying, "Oh, I'm not bothering." No, I'm not. Or before a game, you're not in the squad. I think maybe once in the squad where I had a good game the week before, I should have started, and I wasn't. I was on the bench, and I kind of see my bottom about it. But you just learn, you live and learn. And they pulled me in and said, "Look, we've analysed this team. We think you'll do well, so we want to give you some rest." So I said, "All right, fair enough, no problem." But we always support each other, trying to do the best, give the best advice for each other. And that's just what we do.
I mean, you mentioned before about Goody and Bell almost taking the pressure off you as a player so you could play your natural game. And you just spoke there about that you all have each other's back, you're all supporting each other. It's that trust again that you mentioned before. How important is it? I mean, is this a squad like never before that you've played in, where there's such a good atmosphere all the time around the players, where there's no sort of backstabbing and you all are getting on with each other so well? And it's that connection that you all have, which makes you play the way that you do. How important is that?
Massive. It's massive. You see many over so many years, you won't win if you don't have a good dressing room. Little things like the t-shirts are too big on a match day. On the arms, obviously, me and Scotty are only little lads. But the big on the arms, we have a ritual where we'll put a sellotape over our arms, and it's the relationships we have. People might come in after a few drinks on a Friday, and no one will stitch them up and say, look, well, he was out, blah, blah, because they always put in a performance and they deliver, not mentioning no names. But it's the trust we have and the relationship we have that's got us there, and it's come over 2-3 years, the likes of how many players that are there. And even the likes who are coming back, which is Joe Woolley, Ryan Jackson, Pritch, Kai Riley, and it's just a relationship we have. It's awesome. Honestly, I've not been in a dressing room like it for many years.
Obviously, this season was one that none of us will ever forget for many different reasons. It was a fantastic season. We would have potentially gone on to win the league, could have won the Macron Cup as well. What's it like being a part of that this season? Just playing games and constantly going out there, putting your 100% in, and it paying off. There was games where it's like 9-0 against Litherland. You can't ask for much more as a player, can you?
No, they were awesome. Honestly, the whole season's been great because regardless, obviously, we didn't lift the trophy and it wasn't crowned. We all have memories from different parts of the season that we'll never forget, and we'll go, remember that game against Litherland 9-0, or remember the last minute winner against Skem or Longbridge Town. There's so many times where we'll have them forever, and it is a bit upsetting that we didn't manage to finish the season. But like we all keep saying, we'll go again. The amount of times that we've come off the pitch and they've gone, well played, you deserve the league, you're the best team we played. It's from not just 1 or 2 teams, it's like 3, 4, 5, 6 teams that have said, you'll absolutely run away with the league, and we was close to. But what can we do? We can't sit around and cry about it. We just have to pick up where we left off and go and achieve more. Have a good FA Vase run, win the league again, and try and retain the trophy. And that's the main aim.
Do you feel there is any pressure from other teams maybe in the league, maybe some expectation around? Because Avro put a tweet out yesterday saying they were looking forward to welcoming last year's champions, 1874 Northwich, on Twitter. They tweeted that yesterday. Do you feel there's almost maybe some underlying added pressure from other clubs who have this expectation of us setting the pace again next year? Is that something you can all feed off as players?
Yeah, in a way, but then again, we're just going to go out and continue to do what we did, and we didn't feel any pressure. We were just playing our game and what we trained for on a Tuesday, Thursday. If they want to, it's a great compliment for them to think we're the previous champions or we're the best team we played, but we're just playing how we play. If it comes with a 4, 5, 6, 7-0 win or a trophy, then awesome. But I don't think we'll thrive off that. I don't think we'll feel the pressure too much, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. How much is confidence a factor for you? You mentioned to me in your column that you're a confidence player. You like playing games consistently back to back, and we've spoken to Bowen Goody many times this season, and players say as well that once you've been picked, you'll most likely be given a run of games of 3 or 4 games back to back. How much is that important for you as a player, knowing that you've got the backing of the managers to go, regardless of how you play, you've got 3 or 4 games here that you can play? How much pressure does that alleviate from you so you can play your actual game?
So much, especially for me. I can't speak for most of the other lads, but you don't want to be going into a game where you might be playing the likes of Runcorn Town at home, where whenever they get the ball, it's just long ball, it's kick out of play, it's a bad weather, the pitches are the best, and I'm thinking, if I don't do something today, I'm out of the team next week. And nobody wants to be out for the team. They want to play every game, regardless of maybe you got to rest. They want to play. But having that, obviously, Bowen Goody say, look, we're going to give you 2 free run of games. Just go out and do what you do. Don't forget your defensive duties. Make sure you're always switched on. First and foremost is as long as you run enough and you put in the work, that's enough for us. Whatever comes after that comes after that. We're not telling you to try and do 20 step overs and beat your man, come back, beat him again, or whip in the world. Just go and get the job done, and then that's all we ask of you. But that was my downfall for the first season. I was trying too hard to do all that stuff and then try and defend too much. And Goody said, well, you're trying too hard to defend. Don't worry about that. You're an attacking player. Go and do what you want. And it's massive to know that I might not be in the game here. I'll come off after 75 minutes and I won't be sat on the bench the week after. And it is a massive relief.
Now, just finally from the football from the last season, what were your highlights from the season?
I have to think about that one. I'd like to say Schem, but that's because obviously the manner of how they were playing, they were kicking the ball out last minute. I had an argument with one of the lads after in the clubhouse, kicked off. I'd have to say Schem, but even I wasn't even involved with him, but we knew that they was like one of our closest rivals. But just to come back from that game and get the winner last minute, that I'd probably say that one without being too selfish. I'd say that because that was putting us on where we was 11 points clear, was it? Yeah, I'd say that one. I just put it to a big where we was on the run where we thought now it's in our hands properly. We can go on and win it. So to come back to that as a team, I think Jack Tinning scored 94th minute, was it? Or was it Scotty got the winner?
Jack Tinning got the equaliser, Scotty got the winner.
Yeah, and just Jack Tinning was on the bench each week and he didn't moan, he just cracked on and got on with it and said, I'll do my job and I'll help the team. He could have just, I'm coming on here now, the game's done, we'll get a draw, that'll be fine. No, we'll just go on and win, and it's just what we've all got for the team.
Now, moving on to your own life, there's a small rumour that we need to address. I know Lee Jackson didn't want me to bring it up earlier today, but I think we will do. It's been mentioned a few times in the series so far about you, Megs, and Wayne Rooney. First of all, did it happen? And let's talk about it.
I megged him twice, but obviously, let me just clear up something here. I never bring this up. I get a lot of stick. I get so much stick saying, oh, is he going on about megging Rooney again? I don't bring it up. It's always someone tweeting saying, oh, ask him who did he meg, or oh, did you meg Rooney? I'm not bringing it up. People always bring up and ask me, but if you want to go into it, yeah, I megged him. I've got over 1.2 million views on YouTube, so I'll take that as a 70-year-old lad. Man United, England's all-time greatest goal scorer. I nutmegged him, and yet again I put it in the top bin after it, and it's on video to see, so I'll take it. I won't say no to that.
I love the fact there that you're like, oh no one else brings up to me, but you just had to start straight away 1.2 million views, just in case someone wanted to presumptively mention it.
Yeah, if people want to try and say I'm lying, I've got the screenshots there from YouTube and stuff, and I've got it. It's not a problem. I'm a stat man, as Bowen Goody knows. I'm a stat man. I've not lost a game this season. I've started. I think I've scored in my shot conversion rate is one of the best. I'm a stat man. Stats don't lie.
Is that just you trying to get in Bowen Goody's ear about starting more next year? You're the good luck charm.
Yeah, just a little bit, but that doesn't work, as we've seen. But I think that's the good relationship we've all got. We all just give each other so much stick, and they just give it back as well. So, as you've seen on the tweet yesterday, Goody put, ask my son, does he need anything? It's all right. He's my dad. He's my dad, isn't he? So we've got a good relationship with throughout the whole team. It's class.
Yeah. Now, you spoke to me earlier in the week and told me that you're like a body double for lots of different footballers, like Aguero, Juan Mata, Alexis Sanchez. I mean, you didn't necessarily need to take the Aguero look to the extreme. Did you want to do like the upper body half as well with the hair?
It's more the Gams Pedersen more than Aguero, but the advert stuff's class. It's good because obviously the job that I'm in now, it allows me to have like the time off if I need it, because they only get like a couple of days window because they want to keep like the locations secret or where the players are going to be secret. But yeah, it's awesome. I've travelled the world doing it. It's opened like so many doors for me. The pay's good as well, but just being in like the presence of a professional footballer and what they do on their days off, it's crazy. Like, we see a 30-second advert, but what goes into it is like 2 days worth of filming and getting stuff right, and it's a crazy world when you see it from obviously behind the scenes.
I mean, what's it like being part of it? And you're surrounded by these brilliant, amazing footballers, and you're there being like the legs for them effectively. So doing all the tricks and the skills for adverts like Pepsi, Nike, Under Armour, Puma that you mentioned to me. it was a fantastic experience for you. Like, have you been able to play football with these sorts of players as well?
Yeah, it is a massive eye opener. Obviously, that I think I'm a good player, and technically, like, I can control the ball out of the sky or put it top corner. But when you're doing like the adverts with these players, I'm not good. I am very bad compared to these. Like, these are on a different planet, and that's why they earn so much money. But seeing them up close and what they do, and when they're scoring top bins, you understand how good they actually are. But it's great. I get paid to do it. My face might only get shown now and again. But even just being and playing two-touch with them, when the cameras aren't rolling, and if you drop the ball, you get your ear flipped. I've had Rio Ferdinand rinse my ear, like it was nearly off bleeding because he was so good. And you have, like, people think, oh, the footballers are so arrogant and this. They're not when you get to see him, obviously, on a face-to-face basis. The class.
Yeah, and that's a life experience that you'll never forget, isn't it? Being surrounded by these sorts of players, and you might even be able to pick up like little bits of stuff that you can add into your own game as well. Because as we all know, you're probably one of the most skillful players in the Northwest Counties by a considerable distance. It's these sorts of things like it's true. Like, I don't think anyone can necessarily deny it. I think
I won't deny it either. So I won't deny it. I'll take it.
But it's this sort of thing, isn't it, where you've got the ability that and the confidence that you can take a ball down and you can put it in the top corner 9 times out of 10. It's frightening, that sort of ability, isn't it?
Yeah, well, thank you. But I so many years where I might be trying to take a free kick and just hitting it top corner. It's just constant for me. So I'm not saying I'm an amazing player, but I can't hit the top corner, and I can't. Technically, I am great, but there's still loads of other aspects that I need to work on. I need to put on a bit more size. I need to become a lot fitter and a lot quicker. But we're all working on that, and the sessions that we do are good. But yeah, we do take a lot of stuff from what we're obviously playing with them and the two-touch, and it is a massive life experience, yeah.
Now, you spoke to me last week, and your claim was that you are the best five-a-side player in the world.
Yeah, best five-a-side player in the world, I'll take that. I even come back from Dubai and had one bad game. That's the only bad game I've ever had. But yeah, I honestly believe that. Others might disagree. But I'm just very disappointed I've not been in more five-a-side teams that have been picked. Like I said, Jacko, Corrals, that upset me. I think they wanted more drinkers more than actual players. So, yeah, I probably wouldn't put myself in my own five-a-side team, but I still am one of the best in the world.
Well, we'll get onto your five-a-side team in a little bit later. But what's it like playing 5- and 6-a-side football compared to 11-a-side? Because naturally, it's a lot more close contact. Playing your five-a-side, a lot more skill-related. But then 11-a-side, it's a proper team game. There's a lot more maybe strategy and thought that goes into it. What's it like balancing the two?
It is difficult. It is totally different. But because I tried to play the same way on obviously the 5-a-side and the 6-a-side, 11-a-side, sorry. Obviously I've got a great understanding. Obviously I've been doing it for so long, but it is so much different. I remember playing a game against Spain in my first tournament, and I was playing against like this big tubby guy, and he must have been like 30 odd years old, and I thought, I am going to rinse you so bad. I'm going to do step overs, flip flaps, and I was just looking at him, marking him on a corner, and as soon as I turned to look at the ball, he was gone on my blind side, and he ended up scoring, and they subbed him off. And that was him done, and we ended up getting beat. And I thought, if I switch off at any point, they'll punish you. And it is similar with the 11 side, but you've got the midfield, you've got the defence, then Big T to obviously protect you. With the 5-6 side, you can't switch off for 1 minute. So
how important is
similarities, but it is a lot different.
How important is the fitness then for a 5- and 6-a-side game? I'm not overly sure on what the structure of the games are in terms of how long they are, but I imagine you've got to be very, very fit to play them.
Yeah, it's massive. That's why it's 2 minutes. It's 2 halves, 2 20-minute halves. But you get like a number of 12 players for the team, and it's like substitutions after substitutions because you play like 40-degree heat as well as it's short, sharp on AstroTurf. It is very hard, but I'm used to it. you got to obviously use your brain a lot more than what you would do at 11 side. You're hanging out. You probably think you only touch the ball for probably a maximum of a minute and a half in a 90-minute game, total running playing time. But 5-a-side, 6-a-side, you're constantly on the ball. You're defending, and it's quick attacking. So it is very tough. But I've accustomed to it. Obviously, playing it for so many years.
Yeah, and finally, what do you hope to achieve next season? You mentioned before you want to win the league at least. How would you like to do in all the other competitions?
Well, for me, the league's like something that I want to win. I've been playing in this league for many years now, and I want to win it at least. But like I said a bit earlier on, we all want to win, so it'll be the FA Bars we don't just really want to have a good run. We want to actually give it a go of actually winning it, retaining our cup that we already have. We just don't want to do as good as we have done, but obviously jump that a bit more as well and continue to strive on for even more success. But it's going to be tough, not knowing when it's going to start. We don't want to peak too early, and we've just got our fingers crossed that we can at least pick up where we left off.
Nice one. Now, moving on to a more interesting section, to say the least. Would you rather fight one Scott McGowan-sized duck or 100 duck-sized Scott McGowans?
I was crying laughing at this when I heard it. All night I was just picturing one Scott McGowan-sized duck, and I was like, it's a good question. Me and Scotty have had so many fights already, so I don't want to fight him even if he was in duck form. So I'll just go for the one Scott McGowan duck side, is it?
Yeah, one Scott McGowan-sized duck. Let's talk about your relationship with Scott, because we spoke last week about one game at Burscough where there was quite a row that was visible on the pitch in the FA Cup, and then about 10 minutes later you then set him up for the goal. What is your relationship like? It seems to be very much a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, I think that's because we bounce off each other, and like I said, we both want to win. So if a pass is wrong and he believes if it was right, he would have scored that chance. It's what we have. Or if I put in a good cross and he's not there, I know that he would have scored that. Do you know what I mean? It is love and hate. And like when we had that row, it was more of he didn't trust me at the time enough, and I didn't trust him enough at the time, or we didn't have that good relationship, and we just built it. And I'd like to see the stats on this one as well, but how many goals I've set him up for. Whereas I think it was Charlotte Richard at home. I've received the ball, I've beaten my man, and I'm not even looking, but I know where Scott's already running, so I just reverse it. And next minute, he's put it in the top corner. We've got a good relationship now, and it's just come over time. Just like I said before, just the trust that we've got throughout the team. But I still don't want to. I don't want to fight him.
Now, earlier in this series, we learned about an incident where Lee Jackson's Harry Potter mug was broken. He blamed Mike Corral, still blamed him earlier at training for it today. Corral protests his innocence. Who do you think broke the mug?
I'm going Corral.
Do you think he broke it?
Yeah, he's got that little sly, not sly, but his little tricky side to him where he might do something, but everyone goes, "Oh, it's Corral. He won't do that," but he might have actually had an accident. Put it back in. He's got that side to him, especially if you've seen him drunk as well. We had a party at Lee's house, and you should see him on the thing. He's just like that. And no one would ever think that Corral, but he was absolutely steaming. So I'm going Corral. Regardless of how many parties and the other kind of riffraff that go through his front door every week, I'm going with Corral.
Who would you have? You said you wouldn't put yourself in, but who would you put in your 74 5-a-side team?
I'm going Car School, staying true to my own. So, to be fair, I would have Sam Hare in there because we played 5-a-side on a Thursday night at the Soccer Dome, and Sam Hare was awesome in that. Jack Tinnin as well. But yeah, I'm going to stick with Big T. Big T's quality. Even coming back after 3 months out, he's been quality training. I'd go Sammy Hind at the back, just sweeping up with his great physique and his experience. And then I'd have Sam Hare, Jack Tinnin in the middle of a diamond. And I'm going Lee Knight up top. prolific goal scorer, one of his mazy runs. So that would be mine. I'm sticking with the car school.
Sticking very true to the car school. And now my other favourite question is, would you rather feet for hands or backwards knees?
That's a tough one. I'm going backwards knees because I like my PlayStation quite a bit, so I can't play that with feet for hands. So I'll give up the top corners for backwards knees.
I think Harry Kane is the only person who said that he wants feet for hands. I think out of about the 8 interviews I've done, I think he's the only person who said he wants.
Have you seen his TikToks though? And he's like, oh, he might think he'll make it a bit quicker. So it's probably the only reason why.
Now let's move on to questions from Twitter. This was from the Riff Raff.
Dreading these.
Pardon?
I'm dreading these.
Well, this one's an interesting one. Would you rather a 12-inch belly button that swings to music or accordions for legs?
It's both lose-lose.
Yeah.
I'd go 12-inch belly button.
That sways to music?
Yeah.
If you had to pick music that it'd sway to, what would you pick?
Craig David. Go Craig David. 7 days. I'd probably put it in a ponytail anyway and just hide it under the t-shirt, so it should be all right with that.
Here's one. How big's your head?
Massive. I got that a lot when I was growing up, saying that your head is huge. So they kept calling him a 10-head because it's like a size 10 football, size 10 trainer.
Yeah, I can see that. And to be fair, I can sympathise with that because my head is huge as well.
My head's actually not that big. It's just my chin's huge. My chin's a bit long, but the rest of it's fine. Very good looking, as you can see, in a nice Hawaiian shirt.
Well, each to their own.
Well, now my brow's gone, I'm probably one of the best looking. Win-win.
Is that self-acclaimed?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, Vicky did say, how did you manage to come back from lockdown so well styled? However, she asked that yesterday. So by the time this comes out and she's seen it, that tweet could be deleted.
No, I think she'll be even more. Please, nice skin fade. Silvery grey looking. What I told everyone else was that my girlfriend did it. That she cut my hair first time when we come back to training. But if you want the real answer, yeah, I've got one of my good friends is a barber, so he thought he'd treat me to cheer me up. We'll put it that way. He just does it near enough every week to cheer me up, so we're all right. It's a win-win.
This one's from Sam Hare. When are you going to pass your driving test?
I don't need to now. I've got Sam. This might get me in trouble, but I've got Sam Hare, Jack Tinning, Lee Knight, Sam Hine, and then my girlfriend who want to drive me everywhere because they're great people. So I don't need to at the minute. I live like 5 minutes from work. So it's not needed. Parking in town is ridiculous. It's not needed. Win-win. I don't need to. No, I want to joke. It is. I started doing loads of driving lessons before lockdown, and I think once we're out of lockdown again, when I'm back in work, I'm just gonna get a crash course and try and complete it. I put it off for so long. I've been so lazy, and everything's been right near me, so it'll be sorted soon. But until then, they're my 5 chauffeurs.
He nearly made up all your 5-a-side team as well.
Probably why I put them in as well.
This one's from our fan engagement account. Have you been sorted out with the huddle clips for analysis for playing fullback yet?
Not yet. I can feel it coming because second session back, we had me and Ryan Jackson at right back, and then there was Taylor and Harry Kane at left back. So I think the plan is something just in case that we need to be called upon. But I wouldn't put it past them either. So I'm dreading it. I couldn't see me there. You'd never see me in the back. I'd always be in the top right-hand corner trying to whip in top bins from 40 yards. So it probably wouldn't work for me.
Here's one from Instagram. Was there ever a moment in football where you thought about giving up?
No, not really. Obviously I wanted to be a professional footballer, but I never thought if I don't be a professional footballer, I'm going to give up. Or that's never been the case. I've always been playing five-a-side tournaments or played at Wembley Stadium, Old Trafford five-a-side. There's always, each year, they've always been something that I've always looked forward to and had an amazing time doing, or even a life experience. So I've never really had that. I've loved every minute of it. So no.
And here's another one from the Riff Raff. This was from a few weeks ago, but I thought I'd bring it back up because it's a really interesting question. Would you rather be able to fly, but only at walking speed, or read people's minds, but it all sounded like Baby Shark?
Baby Shark. Fly at walking speed. I'll take that. That's decent. I could not deal with that Baby Shark song. I've heard it so many times. No chance. No.
Well, think about it though. I mean, I'd agree with you, but flying at walking speed, you may as well just be walking.
You know, you're walking in the air. There's no one, and especially now you've got to stay 2 meters. You can stay 50 meters.
That's just true.
But yeah, definitely in and out. We'd never be late. That's a good thing as well.
Now, one thing I was going to mention, but be careful how I word it, obviously, so we don't want to give anything away. But there was a moment last season between you and Jake Parker. There was at one club, and your wording to somebody was, I'm not saying that your cooking is bad. I'm just saying what you've made wasn't very good. When was it when it went through your mind that realised maybe I shouldn't have said that? Because that was one of my highlights of the season.
Not one bit. I don't care what people think. Or I'll just be honest with you. I'm not going to get her out being honest. Jake made a remark at Ashton.
Well, there's a club.
I don't care. He made a remark about the food. He wasn't saying it was bad. Like at first, he was like, wasn't the best, but from where we've been previously. And then the lady heard it, but she related something different to him, maybe a partner or someone else that was there. And he came over all Billy Big Spuds, but he didn't know what he was talking about. So quite rightly, the person I am put him in his place and said, look, there's a McDonald's around the corner. We're not really interested. We'll go and get McDonald's. And he I think he lost his head as well. Yeah. So, well, it's only Ashton.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing them next year. I'm sure you will do as well.
Yeah. To be fair, I didn't get that game, so he just, instead of Bone Goody getting stick from me, he ended up getting it in the neck instead.
Now, finally, one project that we've been working on, which we'll be able to announce soon, I noticed that you spoke about yourself in third person the whole way through it. You referred to you the whole way through it as Cal Meggs the whole way through it. Where did that nickname come from? I'm assuming it's to do with the Rooney Meggs.
Yeah, briefly. I used to just meg everybody in training. I'll be megging people because I'm not the quickest. So if I can get a couple of yards on by not megging people and going through that way, win-win. But I've been doing it for years, and that's what my friend said to me. He goes, ask Rooney for $5,000. Say if you meg him, he owes you $5,000. So I said, well, I'm not going to go and say, give me $5,000 if I meg you. It just sounds like a little chav, 70-year-old chav from Manchester asking for money. It's like, let me sell it. So I ended up being tickets instead. And then ever since then, it's just been megs. No matter who you are, you get megged. Simple as. Nobody's safe, even standing around at training. Phil's been megged. John, the old kit man's been megged. Bone Goody, Bo got megged today, unfortunately, but it is what it is.
Well, Cal, it's been fantastic having you on. We've spoken about many different things there today, including your time in football, even to the adverts, which I think is a great experience.
But it wasn't as long as Harry Kane's as well, that big essay.
Yeah, that is true.
Let us make that clear. I think he said he started from under threes, I think. I was under threes at Kickstart, and then we went to North with Sandbach. No.
Yeah, I got specifically asked by Scott and Lee Jackson not to ask you about that because they didn't want to be there listening to it as long as Harry. So at least you weren't as long.
No, I wouldn't do that. Might get some stick, but the only stick they can give me is probably about my hair. But a lot of people liked it today, so a few was calling me Sergio. That was probably because of the goals I was scoring more than the hair, but
Oh yeah, easy work for you.
Nobody. Yeah, that's what I do in my sleep.
Well, Paul Boy said that you got the haircut especially for my interview. So if that was the case, extremely honoured.
I just thought I'd cheer up all the fans who are at home and can't get out to watch them. I thought I'd give them a laugh with my not so good shirt and my not so good hair. But I can always deliver on a pitch, so that's one thing. I'm going to be the best looking winger in the North West Counties. I might not be the best player, but I'll be the best looking.
I mean, you mentioned to me earlier in the week you were toying with the idea of wearing a sumo outfit. I
was close to, but I just didn't think it would be right. I don't think it'd fit. I've been in the gym, I'm not sure if you can tell. Put on a bit of size, so I don't think it would have fit. Been working out, been doing Joe Wicks on workouts, so I thought I'd treat it to a Macron Cup winning shirt.
Do you know what, Carl? If there's one thing you can say about you, it's extremely modest.
Oh yeah. How do you expect anyone else to love you if you don't love yourself?
Very true. Very wise words. Thank you very much, very much. Thank you very much for joining. Yeah. Once again, please leave us your comments. We'll have a couple more editions with these, and then I think we'll time to give it a rest. I've got 2 more planned, and then hopefully we can bring it back at the end of pre-season, whenever that should be. Thank you all for listening again, and I shall see you all next week.